Why isn't the Senate Armed Services Committee investigating UFO whistleblower David Grusch? This is Ask a Poll. I'm your host, Matt Laslo, here in Washington, asking your lawmakers your questions at your U.S. Capitol. But Congress is on recess. So, throughout the month, I'm playing you all my interviews with 100 out of 100 United States senators, specifically on UFO whistleblower David Grusch. 100 U.S. senators, 21 of them serve on the Senate Intelligence Committee. 25 of those 100 serve on the Armed Services Committee. But only 6 of those 100 serve on both the Intelligence Committee and the Armed Services Committee. Here at Ask a Poll. Tonight at askapoll.com, we're giving you our exclusives. Tonight at askapoll.com, we're giving you our exclusives with all 6, back to back to back. But first, we're starting with our brand new, never been heard before, exclusives with Senator Angus King of Maine, an independent, he claims, even though he caucuses with the Democrats. And then Senator Tom Cotton, Republican of Arkansas. And then Tom Cotton, Republican of Arkansas. One thing we can promise you about these 2 new ones we're dropping, they are remarkably unremarkable. Maine Senator Angus King claims to be an independent. Hey, sir, have you been able to look into the...
Can you tell me who you're with, please?
Matt Laslo, Wired magazine contributor, have my own bureau. I used to be Maine Public Broadcasting.
Yeah.
But I'm curious if you've been able to look into the UAP or UFO whistleblower at all. No. Thank you. And so here's our exclusive with Senator Tom Cotton of Arkansas, a Republican who is kind of perpetually eyeing the White House. How are you, sir?
Hello, how are you?
One day at a time. Have you heard about this UAP, UFO whistleblower, David Grusch? No comment? How we going, sir? There's Senator Cotton. He says no comment. This isn't news. He always says no comments. I'm clicking right now to see if his office got back to me. But, Congress is in recess. No, I see nothing from his office. So I've got a request out to fill in the blank on his no comment. But so it's not shocking that he's no comment. He's no comment on everything in the Capitol, which is lame. You want to be president? Psh, can't bring that weak-ass game to our Capitol. Trial by fire, y'all. These are what we dropped last night, which is Chair of the Armed Services Committee, Jack Reed, followed by the top Republican, Wicker. And then we're going to end with Rounds and Gillibrand. So, here is Armed Services Chair, Jack Reed. Hey, how are you, sir? Got a random one for you. Have you looked into this UAP or UFO whistleblower, David Grusch?
I have not. No.
Have you heard of him?
I've seen the headlines, read a bit of the press about it, but no, I have not.
You've been here a long time and know government and foreign policy. What do you make of these unidentified objects? Do you think they're coming from foreign nations or?
I don't know, and let me go ahead. I don't know, and I don't think in this topic you should just speculate. I won't speculate.
Right.
I think it's something obviously that this phenomenon, particularly observed by military pilots, is being studied closely by scientists, Department of Defense, many different agencies.
Have you had your answers, or have you had your questions answered from the start of the year, the Chinese spy balloon incident? Have you had your questions for the military answered after the spy balloon incident at the start of the year? Are you going to 2?
I'm going to 2. Oh, I'm sorry. She was driving to 3. We had briefings on it, questions of DOD, etc. Yes, we've had her.
So appreciate y'all. That was Armed Services Chair Jack Reed. Now we go to ranking member of the Armed Services Committee, Roger to the Wicker of Mississippi.
Yes, what can I do for you?
This is a quick random one. Have you heard of this UAP or UFO whistleblower, David Grusch? They had a hearing in the House.
No, and I missed that.
Yeah.
Because I've been so tied up on the floor. There's been some talk about it, but I'm not able.
I know, it's interesting because Rubio's really looking into it.
Mm.
Talk to him about it. I'm curious. Because what Rubio is looking into is the claim that they've hidden these SAPs or special access programs from Congress. It's curious.
I wish I were able to come. All right.
Appreciate you. Have a good recess, sir.
All right, thank you.
So again, that was Senator Roger Wicker of Mississippi. Please don't forget, like with many of these lawmakers, I covered him for Mississippi Public Broadcasting. Yeah, I know most all lawmakers even their towns, by their NPR call letters. And oh my God, it helps me with lawmakers. So anyway, yeah, these people all know me. And so with Wicker, I'm pretty sure I'm hearing from them because he says no comment twice. I don't read that, or initially, when he first said it to me, I didn't read it as no comment, no comment. But then listening back, I got a little curious whether you all heard that as I can't comment on the programs, because he says it weird those two times. But again, my gut when I was talking to him he wasn't in the camp like, oh, I know about it but can't comment. He was kind of saying in a Southern gentlemanly way to me, hey, can't comment because I'm not up on that issue. Again, that's how I heard it. Let me know if you don't hear it that way, because I'm curious, and actually I'm going to follow up with him once Congress is back in September. And so now we go to, what do we want? Gillibrand? Yeah. So here. No, we're actually going to go back and forth. So here's going to be Senator Mike Rounds first, then Gillibrand, then Rounds. We're just going to do it in the order that we describe it in the write-up. So, yeah, we're going to start with Mike Rounds on July 13th, way before we heard anything about his eventual meeting, it seems, with Aero Director. Have you looked into this UAP, UFO whistleblower, David Grusch?
Who?
There's a
I don't know
whistleblower.
the name. I know the stuff you're talking about.
He went through, Rubio tells me, he was vetted by the Inspector General and found credible enough to get sent to Congress, which he said that hadn't happened. He's like, we get whistleblowers a lot, so this one stands out for that. But you haven't. It's not on your radar. Yeah.
No, I haven't talked to him.
Well, because the really intriguing thing is he claims that there are these SAPs, special access programs, hidden from Congress. And so Gillibrand has language in NDAA to kind of smoke out any that are in the government. It would cut off funding for it. So intriguing, especially because it's constitutional question of executive branch.
We'll find out.
Right? Appreciate you. Have a good one. So here's Kirsten Gillibrand on July 19th. She tells us that she's actually meeting with Rounds later in the day. Talking to Senator Rounds and then Young. Neither of them have even heard of Grusch or looked into his claims.
Senator Rounds may not know his name, but I've spoken to Senator Rounds about it. So he just may not be familiar with his name.
Well, that's where this is interesting because it feels like all of you want the same thing, but come at it.
I have a meeting with Senator Rounds today, so we'll be able to talk to. I'll be able to talk to about that specifically. Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Appreciate you, ma'am. Then when we talk to Rounds the next day, when their big UAP amendment with Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, this huge bipartisan measure, that's on the Senate floor, and told us at Ask a Poll that their phrase in Chuck Schumer's UAP NDA amendment, that their phrase, non-human intelligence, which is used in that amendment 20 times, Senator Rounds is the one who told us that it was not by accident. Let's put it that way. So here's Senator Rounds talking about that. And again, this is the guy who just met with the head of Aero. I was just curious, who wrote that bill? Because people were curious about the language that was used.
It was a joint effort. Why? It looked kind of like somebody had tried to create a cow and came up with a horse or something.
I'm trying to look it up. The term they used, but it was used like 22 times. And you can go with yours. I'm reading the bill right now.
There was direct participation between the organizations that currently have to cooperate in this, but we tried to bring a number of different entities in for a discussion so that it wasn't a surprise to anybody.
I think it might be the term non-human intelligence. I think that might be used like 22 times. What?
Well,
what is it?
Pretty simple terms, aren't they?
But could that be AI?
Could be.
Non-human?
Could be.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's that broad.
Well, could be. It was not by accident. Let's put it that way.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Senator Rounds, I wanted to ask you.
I wish I could say more, but that's just. I mean, we tried to keep it as simple as possible.
Talking to you intel guys.
Sorry, could I write it?
Have a good one, sir. Again, this is Matt Laslo, journalist and a Wired magazine contributor. Did a little teaching, and then I founded this little side project that I really kind of fucking love called askapol.com. Media Professor Laslo, I know y'all do not trust the media. Like literally, we're your conduit to Congress. We're here in Washington asking your lawmakers your questions in your United States Capitol. Appreciate y'all, fam. Peace.